Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry. I'm a blue dot in a red state utilizing Tarot to help us navigate these very interesting times that we have going on here in the United States. So I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. The focus of today's reading is going to be Trump's 5-part plan. And this is for midterm elections, and this is his plan so that the GOP can remain in control of the House. It's being reported that he is terrified of going to jail. This 5-point plan. And what's really interesting is that I did the reading on midterm elections, which I thought was really it's like, why am I doing this reading? Because we're kind of a ways out. And I even said, I normally wouldn't do something like this far in advance, but I just kind of got the feeling that I'm going to do this reading. Well, then a few days later, what came out then was about this 5-point plan that Trump had. So this is going to be kind of like a part 2 to that original reading that I did just a few days ago. And so this is, I'm reading from Axios, and just real quick, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but the 5 points are trying to prevent retirements, spending big. He's got like $500 million plus political, PAC that he can spend on. He can use that money for making, and then raising more money. That was another point in this. So third, taking, I don't have my glasses on and I can't read this very well. Taking primary challengers off the table. So don't want anybody primaried. And they think that endorsements from Trump is going to help with that. Good luck with that. Read the room. There's the raising the more money. And then finally ramping up recruiting. And they're seeking out candidates in swing district contests with no incumbents. Okay. Their goal is to get the party to coalesce around a Trump and GOP backed candidate. Go for it, dude. Have you not seen, the writing on the wall here? So this 5-step push to keep the GOP in control in the House in 2026. What I want to do is I want to look at, is that going to be successful? I didn't get that, they were going to, I think that the Democrats are going to take control of the House and the Senate. So, but as I said, this came out and I just kind of want to do a follow-up. It was kind of a quick follow-up to this 5-step plan that Trump has. And notice he doesn't want to keep power in the GOP because he wants power, the GOP to stay in power. He wants to stay out of jail because he knows that there will be an impeachment and remove, at which, he may not even, I don't even know that he's still going to be in office by then. But I want to look at this 5-point plan that he's got, and is this going to work? I don't want to go through each of the specifics. If anything, I would want to look at, does the Trump endorsement, is that going to help or hurt? But right now, I just want to ask just a base reading into this 5-step plan. Is it going to work? Is it going to keep Trump, or is it going to keep the GOP in power in the House? Okay. What's going to happen with Trump's 5-point plan here? Entertainment purposes only. He's trying to figure out how to navigate the troubled waters. Okay. That's right there in the heart and center. The challenge is going to be, the challenge is, how is he going to spend the money? He wants to be the one to determine how to spend the money, who is worthy and who is not. Who's going to be receiving some of that $500 million, money he's got there, and who isn't going to be receiving anything. Okay. That's going to be the challenges. The options. This is someone who is battle weary. And this comes up in the options category. And the options are, taking a step back, look at what doesn't work and what worked and what didn't work. This card, all of these wands represents lessons that were learned along the way. So taking that step before the final battle. So what did you learn from the past? And what can you then take from that to go forward? However, Trump does not learn from the past. His endorsement is going to tank most people's candidacies. Okay, especially in this the MAGA is toxic. And I don't know that, and they're like operating under these delusions that that's actually going to be something that people want is more Trump. Okay, past experiences are, it worked in the past, but this is not, it worked during the first Trump era, but this is the second Trump era, and people have had it. They don't want to have any part of this. I mean, and that's reflected in the polling and the daily protests that we're seeing. Okay, we've got the No Kings protest coming up here in, on June 14th. And so, he's going to, we get to have more of that expressing how much we don't like Trump. Okay, but it worked in the past. Those endorsements did work in the past. Recent influences, very quickly. I think very quickly. What the potential here is the fighting. I think in the RNC they know that a Trump endorsement does not carry the weight with it. Something that worked in the past is not going to work now. Okay, you got nines here, something that was happy. Also, this is drunk on power, but yet needing to take a step back and reevaluate, like the plan. Okay, so I don't think that this 5-point plan, if they're already, if the options are we need to reevaluate the plan and he just now released the plan, that tells you something, okay? That they are not, they're not happy with that plan at all. So, will the Democrats take control of the House in the midterm elections? Okay, and the Democrats taking control, justice card, so a just cause, balance, is coming up here, and their government. Okay, I'm gonna move these out of the way because I don't want anything interfering with this. I have a feeling what this is, but I want to keep going to see what else comes up, for better context. But just to, what these cards, justice, the courts, and our government. Options are Congress has been chained to the devil in the recent past, or this is the past experiences. This is kind of what we're going through with Trump right now. The recent influences, the Democrats. Now, I was asking about from the Democrats' point of view. Okay, so from the Democrats' point of view, the devil's been in charge, and they're working on how they can, regain power there in the House, and I'm going to say in the Senate. And this is the Hermit card. This is both the Republicans and the Democrats have work to do. Okay. Voters are not happy. Voters are not happy with the Democrats. Voters are not happy with MAGA. Okay. So this is the Democrats. If they want to win control, they need to take a long, hard look at who they are and what their righteous cause is. Okay. And, the likes of, Gavin Newsom, nope. The likes of AOC, absolutely. We want somebody who's out there willing to fight for the American people. Okay, the AOC Bernie Sanders tour that they did, Stop the Oligarchs. I love that so much for Bernie Sanders. This has been his life mission. This is his life message. And he's, starting to see that fruition. He's starting to see that come to fruition. He's starting to see how people are rallying around what he used to be the lone voice, and now he isn't. Okay. That is the future of the Democratic Party. A party that is going to be for the people, of the people, by the people, all of that. That is going to be the new way forward for the Democrats. Now, if they don't do that, if they keep thinking that the same old playbook is going to, be the same, is going to get the same results. Well, it is. The same old playbook is going to get them the same results, which is losing elections. They need a new playbook. Okay. So this is saying, yes, they can gain control if they put in the work and find that righteous cause, if they find that new way forward. So let me just 3 cards, will they? As you can tell, I'm not a fan of Gavin Newsom, not a fan of Chuck Schumer, not a fan of, that, what was her name? The Senator Elise Slotkin was like, people don't know what the word oligarchy means. Okay, whatever. I'm not a fan of hers either. So that old guard, Democrat, you gotta go. So will the Democrats figure this out, and will they gain control in the House? And with that, putting themselves in a position to overcome with the decisions that they make, and something has to end for a new way forward. So yeah, if they will get it together. And who was it that I was seeing? I think it was Tim Miller on the Bulwark that was saying, bring in the community organizers, bring in, the union workers, and the teachers and the nurses, and, the middle class people, rural America. Bring the people in that know, what life is like. And that is how you're going to rebuild the Democratic Party, and take it in, a new beginning. So I am going to read these 3 cards with my good news deck, and that this is the Democrats can overcome, but they have to make some hard decisions. Okay, it is a good news deck, but hard decisions have to be made about how they want to go forward, and they've got to put an end to this nonsense of playing by the old rule book. And yeah, they need to have a strong message that's for the American people, and they need to fight for the American people. Like these presidential candidates, potential presidential candidates, where are you? Why are you not out there in the streets with the people? Okay, that's who the people are going to follow. Okay, so yeah, with this, I think that some of the in MAGA world are already, they realize that a Trump endorsement is the opposite of what they need right now. They do not need that. But the Democrats, they have their work cut out for them too. Okay, the American people are not happy at all. And so, yeah, which party's going to do the work? I mean, the Democrats they've got a lot of work to do. I mean, and I'm not, this is liberal Tarot, but I'm not going to cut them any slack when it comes to what they need to do for their party and how they need to figure that out. Chuck Schumer, if you can't have a book tour, you might want to think about, your role there as the Senate leader. Okay, make way for younger voices. Okay, and then, the stuff that's going on with the DNC and David Hogg, that was a whole nother reading, not helping. Okay, we need those younger voices. Okay, so that's what I'm getting, is that basically what I'm getting is nobody's happy. So that 5-point plan is not going to help Trump. Okay, but that 5-point plan is not going to help Trump. The Democrats need to get it pulled together and figure it out, because their dysfunction is what's going to help Trump. Okay, that's kind of what I'm getting with that. So we will see. I will keep doing readings on this. I will keep, watch on that. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting. So Democrats, you've got plenty of time. Actually, you don't. Figure it out. Figure it out quickly, because we need to start having those strong leaders coming out and leading right now. So that's kind of an irritation I've got with Kamala Harris. I'll go ahead and tell you a bit right now. It's like, with voter suppression, it's like, if you weren't willing to fight for your campaign, why should I vote for you again? If you didn't fight for your campaign, why would I think that you would fight for me? That's my question to Kamala Harris. And I was huge Kamala Harris fan, and was very happy, to vote for her. But now it's like, where are you? Why aren't you out there, with the people? And until we start seeing somebody like that, and we're seeing that with, I will say, we are seeing that with Mayor Pete Buttigieg. We're seeing that, Bernie Sanders, he's not going to run for president. AOC, I don't think that she will run for president, this go around. I'd have to even look. Is she old enough? I don't know that she's reached that the age yet. But we are, we need to start seeing Democrats that are serious about running for president, even now, out there in the streets with the people. So that's my little PSA for that, for the Democratic Party. Not that they're seeing this, but anyway, that's what I get today. Trump is not happy. Is not going to be helping the Republican Party as much as he thinks that is, and anybody in MAGA world that thinks that that's actually going to be helpful is delusional. So this is something that I will keep a watch on, midterms, 2026. We will be fine. I am just going to continue saying that we will be fine. We will get through this. Maybe a little bumpy at times, but we will get through this. So thank you for joining me today. I'll put up another video for you to watch, and probably that other, actually I just had that reading come out. So I'll put something there, and then subscribe. So thank you very much for joining me. I will catch you on the next reading. Have a good day.